Okay. So in the last session, we discussed about what does that mean by Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials applications. Oracle means database, or you can say company name. Applications means set of pages, reports, and database. This is what we discussed. And financials, okay, what are the departments are part of, which departments are involving in the financial activities? Those department we are calling as finance department. For each department we have separate application. Financials we call as one of the product family. The same way we have different product families from Oracle, like HCM product family, SCM product family, PPM procurement, okay, CRM. There are many product families. Every product family you can just see as it defines certain business process, and or else you can say in each and every product family you can have a set of applications where those are belongs to different departments. These points we discussed related to financials, and we discussed about what does it mean by fusion. So here we taken few points related to fusion. So Oracle selected the best solutions from the different ERP products, including the Oracle EBS, their own product. By selecting the best solutions from the different products, they built the application called as Fusion applications. Okay, they created an environment called as Fusion. Within that, we have a different product family related applications which they taken from the different ERP and enterprise applications. And we discussed about cloud also. What does that mean by cloud? Cloud is nothing but Oracle is providing virtual servers based on the subscription for respective applications. Instead of going with the on-premise model, you can go with the cloud. What is the big difference between on-premise and cloud? If you go for on-premise, you have to buy your own servers. You have to take the license from Oracle. You have to install, and you need DB and a technical team to manage the applications. If you go with a subscription, you no need to go with all these. Servers are managed by Oracle. They'll give the access to virtual servers. Again, those servers would be available in the nearest data centers wherever you are doing your business. So there will be huge difference the user point of view. Okay, user experience will be rich if you are going to use the virtual servers, since those will be available very close to your business locations. You can say the servers are available internet as a source. You can say servers are available internet as a source. In case of on-premise, it would be in the specific location. So this is the difference we discussed. So based on that, we can say applications, Oracle Fusion applications, you can include the term if you are using the Oracle servers. If you are using your own servers, don't include anything in the name what we are using. That could be specific product family or a particular application. Don't include anything. This is what we have to understand. So along with this, few other points. So after completing this course, we can apply for which jobs. Okay. So we have to apply for the jobs. Like the title would be Oracle Fusion Financials Consultant. Okay. Or else you can say Oracle Fusion Cloud Financials Consultant. Or you can find Oracle Fusion. Simply you can please go on mute. Somebody is unmuted. Yes. So you can call it as Oracle Cloud Financials Consultant. Or you can call it as Oracle Fusion Financials functional consultant. All are same. Okay, all are same. All are same. So for these jobs we can apply. Okay, for these jobs, so this is the job title. When we work for any company, we can call that a Oracle Fusion Financials Consultant. Okay, that too functional consultant. Functional consultant means we never involve in any developing some applications and all. So if you talk about financials, all these applications Oracle develop as per company businesses. Okay, how payables department needs solution to manage their data, how receivables department needs solution to manage their business data, and what reports they have to generate. Accordingly, Oracle already developed these reports. Okay, already Oracle developed these reports. So that means we don't need to do anything with this. What Oracle is providing, we have to understand. Okay, how we can implement these accounts payables. What does it mean by implementing? Just we have to do some setups. Then how we can create invoices, how we can make the payment, how to create the suppliers, how to create bank accounts to make the payments. This all we have to understand as a part of payables. That means what are the features are available in each and every application we have to understand. So those all points we'll discuss. Okay. So, but our role would be just understanding the application and we'll work for that application based on the client requirement. These all points will come to know very soon. But now this is a simple point we have to make about. Okay. And when you talk about course name, you can say Oracle Fusion Financial Application, or you can call as Oracle Fusion Cloud Financial Applications. Okay. You can include or exclude the cloud. But remember, when we have to include, when we have to exclude. That's all. Product wise, it is same. But where we have your applications, you have in on-premise server, that means your own server, or else in the Oracle provided servers. This is only makes the difference. Okay? So this is what we discussed in today's session. In today's session, we'll talk about what are the different options are available within the cloud. Okay. Fine. Now, when you talk about this cloud, yes, cloud means what we are discussing. It's all about we get access from Oracle, okay, without our servers. So servers are managed by Oracle. Those are the virtual servers. So those are available internet as a source. These are the points we discussed. When you take the subscription, okay, when you take the subscription from Oracle for cloud, what are the different options are available? Okay, what are the different options are available? We have to understand. Okay, what are the different options are available from Oracle? We have to understand. That means we are running company and we want to use Oracle Fusion applications. And what we have to select? What we have to select? What subscription model or what subscription option we have to select from Oracle, that we have to understand. That we have to understand. We'll go and see that. Okay. So you can write it here as a cloud options. Okay, or you can say cloud subscription models. Okay, cloud subscription models you can call. Fine. So when you talk about this cloud subscription options, as a company, what we can select from Oracle? We have SaaS subscription and PaaS subscription, IaaS subscription. Okay, these are the three different subscription options are available, not only from Oracle, from any cloud computing company. Okay, so these are the different subscription options are available. Fine. So what does it mean by SaaS? What does it mean by SaaS? SaaS stands for software as a service. Okay, SaaS stands for software as a service. So here, let me write each and everything like the SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. Fine. Give some space. So SaaS stands for software as a service. As a service. Okay. SaaS stands for software as a service. So we'll discuss detail level. Just take the meaning of the SaaS. And other term is PaaS. Okay, PaaS. PaaS stands for platform as a service. Say platform as a service. Okay, platform as a service. And we have another option called as IaaS. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. A service. Okay. SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. SaaS stands for software as a service. PaaS stands for platform as a service. IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service. What exactly these three different subscriptions? If you want to get the Fusion applications access from Oracle, ideally you can use SaaS or PaaS. SaaS or PaaS. If you take SaaS subscription from Oracle, you'll get Fusion applications. You can get Fusion applications access. Okay. And here also you can get Fusion applications access. And after getting the applications from Oracle as a SaaS subscription, you can use them. Okay, you can just use as per your business requirement, like you can implement and you can use. Simply you can say you can use. You cannot modify those. Okay, in case of SaaS, you can use. In PaaS also you can use. But if you want to change or if you want to create some new page, yes, it is possible in the PaaS. Creating something in the applications that we call as a customization. Okay, that we call as a customizations. Say for example, you have an application called as a payables application. The payable application, here we took example as a supplier page and invoice page. We need one more page, but that page Oracle is not providing. That one more page we can create with the help of technical team. Okay, or else we need one more report or few more reports. Yes, with the help of technical team, we can create reports. So creating something which is not already available in the application, that we call as customization. Okay, customizations. In case of PaaS, you can do the customizations. Okay, what customizations? You can create new pages. Here, no page customizations. If you are a SaaS customer, if you take the SaaS subscription to use Fusion applications, you cannot create new pages with the help of your technical team, because there won't be any option. There won't be any option in the SaaS to create the new pages. Okay, you cannot create the new pages, but in case of PaaS, they will provide the platform. They'll provide the platform to create the new pages. But in case of SaaS, just they are providing software where you can use as a service. Okay, here they are providing the application software they are providing. Along with that, they are providing additionally the platform. That means the additional privileges to create the new pages. And again here, in case of SaaS or PaaS, you can do the reports customization. Reports customization means you are not disturbing the product functionality. Okay, you are not creating some new functionality or new pages or new features. Simply, whatever the data is available in the database, what data you want to see, how you want to see the data, accordingly you are going to create the new reports. Okay, the custom reports, the new reports can be created in the SaaS or PaaS. Okay, in SaaS or PaaS, the new reports can be created. Custom reports. Okay, the customization you can call as a custom in short. You can create the custom reports, means new reports in the SaaS, even the PaaS also. Okay, custom reports can be created. In SaaS or PaaS, as per business requirement in any application, the new reports can be created. But when you talk about the new pages, only you can create in the PaaS. In SaaS, you cannot. But here, say if Oracle is going to come up with a new version or new releases, since you are not disturbing the product functionality here by doing the customization, your environment, okay, your total product, whatever Oracle is providing, that can be upgraded automatically. Auto upgrade is possible. If you are a SaaS customer, if you are using the Fusion application, say after 1 year or 2 years, Oracle may come up with a new version, or you can say new release. So you can easily upgrade to latest. In case of PaaS, since we are doing the customizations we are doing, Oracle is not doing. That is the reason to upgrade from current version to latest version, okay, it is not easy. That has to be done through separate process. So auto upgrades are not possible here. No auto upgrades. Okay, no auto upgrades. So your environment, if you are a PaaS client, your environment cannot be upgraded automatically. This is the point you have to understand. In case of SaaS, your environment, okay, what are the you can say like Fusion applications, what are the applications you are using, those applications can be upgraded to latest version if you are a SaaS customer. If you are a PaaS customer, so the applications what we are using, those cannot be upgraded automatically because you are doing the page customizations. You are creating new pages, or else you can create multiple pages and you can create the new application also in the past. That is possible. And another point is, say you are using financials applications from Oracle. So you are using, say, Oracle Fusion financials applications. And you have another application called as ABC applications. ABC application is not from Oracle, some other company. Now, within the financials Fusion financials applications, you want to connect this ABC application. Here we have a names that we discussed. Okay, AP. AP means Oracle Accounts Payable. Say now financials, we have an application called as AP. You want to connect this ABC application to AP application. Okay, you want to connect the ABC application to Oracle AP application. Why? You want to transfer the data from ABC application to AP application, or else you want to send the data from AP application to ABC application. So we have to connect the ABC application to AP application. The ABC application is not from Oracle, or else say this application may be SAP application. Okay, you take any application name, any company application. So that application is not Oracle application, Oracle related application, that is non-Oracle application. So if you want to connect non-Oracle applications to any Oracle application, that we call as integration. Connecting one application with another application, that we call as integration. If you are going to use Oracle applications, all those applications are already connected. Oracle connected and they are providing. But if you are going to use some other applications, like connecting with our Fusion applications, that connectivity need to be created. That should be done by technical team. That we call as connecting the other applications with our Fusion applications, we call as integration. Okay. So since this ABC is not Oracle, ABC application is not from Oracle, that simply we call as third-party application. Okay, that we call as third-party applications. If you want to connect third-party applications with the Oracle applications, that we call as integrations. So you can do the integrations in case of SaaS or PaaS. That is possible. Okay, you can do the integrations. Right. So these are the points we have to understand as of now by looking at SaaS and PaaS. Okay. SaaS stands for software as a service, PaaS stands for platform as a service. Here, whatever the software Oracle is providing, you can use as it is. But here, you'll have an option, like you'll have a platform where you can modify as per your business requirement. Okay. And in case of SaaS, you cannot do the page customizations. Page customizations, you cannot create new pages or you cannot create new applications by creating multiple pages. That is not possible. That is restricted. In case of PaaS, yes, you can do the page customizations. You can create new pages. Custom reports. You can do the reports customization in SaaS and even you can do in the PaaS. It is all about to view the data. You are not disturbing any application. You are not adding, you are not removing, you are not modifying any application related features. It's all about how you want to view the data. Since you are not doing any changes to Oracle provided product, that environment can be upgraded automatically. Okay, how Oracle is providing, you are using as it is. So easily that environment can be upgraded automatically. But in case of PaaS, since we have a platform to do the modifications, definitely we do the changes. So that environment cannot be upgraded automatically with the latest versions or releases. And integration. If you want to connect any third-party applications, okay, with the Fusion applications, yes, that is a possible that we call as integrations. Yes, integrations you can do in SaaS or PaaS. So in case of SaaS or PaaS, we'll have a Fusion applications. But when you talk about IaaS, infrastructure as a service, this is just Oracle provides some space for storage only. Storage. Within that storage, you can just save some files or you can save some any other information or you can just keep some, you may install some software, it could be anything. That is storage space. When you talk about IaaS, there won't be any applications in that IaaS service. Within that, there will be storage space. Okay. So what purpose you want to use, you can use that. When it comes to applications, SaaS and PaaS only. Okay. So IaaS only storage space, that storage space you can use for any purpose. So ideally, every cloud computing company is providing these three options to their customers. When you talk about Oracle, yes, Oracle is providing the SaaS and PaaS subscriptions with Fusion applications. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. And another very important point is most of the clients are using SaaS subscription only. Few clients, whose business process need to be customized, whose business process need to be modified. Okay, so they are using PaaS subscription. Okay, so their business process, like Oracle is providing the applications, but those applications are not going to support 100% as per their business process, definitely we have to do some changes to the product what Oracle is providing through customization concept. Only in those scenarios only those clients are choosing PaaS subscription. The most of the clients are choosing SaaS subscriptions only. The most of the implementations which you see in the market, those are SaaS. Very few, very few. I can say 99% implementations are SaaS subscriptions. Only 1 or 2% you can see as a PaaS. So this is what we have to understand about cloud options or different cloud subscriptions, or this you can call it as a modes. Okay, 3 modes we have. So ideally, the customers, they can go for SaaS or PaaS. Most of the clients are using SaaS. What is the big advantage? Auto upgrade is possible here. Okay, if Oracle is going to come up with some new features and the new updates and all, those can be easily upgraded to that environment. Means the current environment can be upgraded automatically, and again those additional new features also SaaS customers can start using immediately. So this is the difference between SaaS, PaaS and IaaS. Any questions on this point, please?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Which one would be the best practice out of these three?
See, this is anyway no applications in this. If you are looking for some storage space, you have to go with this. I think this is not required. Here we have a 2. So when we are going to do the implementation, okay, so as per the client business requirement, the whatever the application Oracle is going to provide, if that need to be modified, or else what are the features Oracle is providing, those are not enough. In that case, we have to go with the PaaS, because we want to do some modifications and we want to create some new functionalities or new features. Definitely have to go with the PaaS. Otherwise, ideally, SaaS is the best. So always Oracle will help us to upgrade that environment automatically. Any customizations are required. Any new pages creation. Page means to create some data. So there will be teams when you are working for any company. From company side, there will be pre-sales and sales teams. They will decide. When we start working for any client as a consultant, by the time they take the decision. So it may be SaaS or PaaS. As a functional consultant, it doesn't make any difference. Only the difference would be for technical people. If it is a SaaS, they cannot do any customizations. If it is a PaaS, yes, they will have option to do the customization. Being a functional consultant, it doesn't make any difference. In SaaS or PaaS, we'll have a same product, and we have to set up and we have to just provide the solution to the clients. So they decide. Okay, they decide. Sales and pre-sales teams would be there. So they will talk to the clients and they see the feasibility of this product for their clients, and they'll suggest as per your business. Definitely there should be few customizations, then go with the PaaS, or else they'll look into that client business process, and since they know about Fusion applications, easily they can validate and they can suggest as per our business process, SaaS is good enough. Okay, since no customizations need to be done, whatever the business you are doing, very smoothly you can run by using the Fusion applications. So that's how there will be discussions and they decide. Okay, we nowhere involved in the decision making of they have to use SaaS or PaaS. Just for information, we are discussing what is the difference between the SaaS and PaaS. The company and the consulting company, sales, pre-sales team, and client teams, they'll sit together and they'll finalize. Once everything is finalized, they'll kickstart the project. As a consultant, we'll enter into the project. That could be SaaS or PaaS. Our role would be same. Our task would be same. Yeah. So this is what we have to understand. Any other questions, please?
Lakshman Irfan here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, please.
Actually, you said that auto update. So if there is a new feature added, then how we get this at the while we are working? Means
See,
how we get this new feature will be added or
simple point. When they come up with a new release, okay, they release a document. Okay, they'll provide a document. What purpose that in which business scenarios you can use that feature. You can look into that. As per your business, if that is required, you can start using. Otherwise, Oracle is giving some new features. When those are not required for us, we don't need to touch those. Okay. So whatever Oracle is going to come up with as a new feature, really as per your business that is required, you can use, or else you can ignore it. Oracle will release the document also on those releases. Yep. You can find that information. You can find that information in the product itself, and separate documents also Oracle will provide. That's how you come to know.
Good morning, Lakshman.
Yeah, please.
What about the on-premises installation? Is there any possibility to do the on-premises?
Yes, we discussed in the yesterday's session. Yes, on-premise
Okay.
also you can go, but now Oracle is focusing on cloud only. You want to go with on-premise? Yes, you can go with on-premise. In that case, you have to buy your server infrastructure, and you have to take the product license, which applications you want to use. You have to take the license, you have to install, and you have to maintain DB and other technical team to manage the server. That is
So
possible.
same application and same version we can install in our on-premises, or is there any possible?
Everything the same.
Huh?
So yes, on-premise and Fusion, cloud, same application. There is no difference. There is no single function difference. But only the difference is, in case of SaaS or PaaS, everything will be controlled by Oracle, because servers are Oracle servers. Okay, servers are Oracle servers. But if you go with on-premise, everything will be in our control. Here, in case of on-premise, you will have full rights to do anything on this server or product. But in case of SaaS or PaaS, they'll give the access to the application. If you want to do the customizations, yes, you can do the customization in case of PaaS. But certain sensitive data related access they don't give you. You have to inform to Oracle. So I want to install the printer. They will do it. We have to inform. But in case of on-premise, our DBAs can do that. But in case of SaaS or PaaS, so we have to inform to Oracle DBA, Oracle Cloud DBAs, to do some printer related configuration and few other sensitive configurations. We have to request Oracle, they'll do behalf of us. So that's how it is different. Product wise, no difference. What you have in the SaaS or PaaS, the same you can see in on-premise also. Product is same. Where the product is deployed, if the product is deployed in your own server, that is on-premise. Just you call as Oracle Fusion applications. If it is a finance, you call as Oracle Fusion Financials application. If that is the product is deployed in the Oracle virtual servers, that could be SaaS or PaaS. Again, that you will have a same product. If it is a PaaS, you can do the modifications. If it is a SaaS, you cannot do the modifications. If it is your own server, yes, you can do the modifications. Okay, that is the difference. Product wise, no difference. Only in terms of privileges. Okay, in terms of privileges, there will be difference. Yep. This is what we have to understand. Any questions here, please? Any other questions from anyone, please?
Hello, am I audible to you?
Yeah, audible, please.
Sir, good morning, sir. My name is Aravind. Sir,
Yeah.
actually, you said one important point here, that is integration in these SaaS and PaaS. Sir, can you please repeat the word integration? What is meant by that?
Integrations mean connecting one application with another application. Say, for example, from Oracle, you are using AP. Okay. Accounts payable, you are using from Oracle product. Fine.
Okay.
And you want to use purchasing application from SAP.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. These two are from different vendors, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Now you want to use like this. Now what we have to do is, in purchasing whatever the data you have that has to come to payables, accounts payables. Now you have to connect these two applications. You have to establish the connectivity. That connectivity we
Okay.
call as integration. Connecting two applications for data communication we call as integration.
Okay.
See, this purchasing application also you are using from Oracle only.
Okay.
So there should be communication between the purchasing and AP applications as per business or as per the product. So since these two are from Oracle only, Oracle is connecting and they are providing. You don't need to do connectivity again.
Okay, then fine.
You don't need to establish any connectivity. Since those two applications from Oracle only, they know those need to be connected or not. And they are giving to the clients, they are connecting and giving. That we call as inbuilt integration. Okay, inbuilt integration. The applications will get with the connectivity only. Are
Okay, sir.
from the
I understand.
different products or different vendors. So since we are going to use those two, once we get those two, we connect those. This is what we have to
Fine.
understand. And another point is, other term what we should make a note is customization. Okay, customization is nothing but creating something. Even connecting one application with another application, that also falls under customization only. That what sort of customization you are doing, integration you are doing. When you talk about customizations, creating something new which is not there. That may be integration, that may be creating the new report or creating new page. Whatever you create something as a new, that you call as a customization only. Yep. Creating something
Thank you, sir.
which is not available, that we call as customization. Maybe a report creation, new report creation, or new page creation, or new connectivity, establishing the new connectivity is all we call as customization. Or else modifying something which is already there in the application. By using the customization only, you can do the changes to existing what Oracle is providing. Remember these two terms.
Fine.
Right. Any other questions? Right, no questions. Now we'll talk about, and one more point. For our classes, we are going to use SaaS application. Even if you use PaaS, you don't find any difference. If technical people are going to use, they will have a provision. They will have a platform to do the customizations. They can create new pages and they can deploy. Okay, in case of SaaS, that is not possible. Anyway, that is not required for us. Okay. The instance, whatever we are going to use, that we call as SaaS. Now, what is the instance? Okay, if you want to use SaaS or PaaS anything, Oracle provides instance. Oracle provides instance. What does it mean by instance? Okay, when you look at the term meaning, instance is nothing but the copy. The product, the software copy Oracle is providing through virtual server, that only we call as instance. Within that instance only, you can have all the applications. Within that instance only, you can have a database. Say, take this environment is instance. Okay. So when we are going to work for any client, ideally how many instances we can have? By default, we'll have access to 2 instances. Okay. So when we are working for any company as a consultant, you can see 2 instances. Within instance, what you can have? You can have all the applications. Okay. You'll have all the applications. Like you can have AP application as we discussed. Yeah, accounts receivable application. And you can have like FA application. Okay, so CM applications and many other applications. Okay, so your client require how many applications? All the applications you can find in this instance, and all the application related data information, the data you have to store. So within the same instance, you'll have a database also. Okay, within the same instance, you'll have a database. All applications, in every application, you can have a pages, and all are connected with the database. And again, here we'll have a reports also in every instance for each and every application. For AP application, AP reports, AR application, AR report. That's how you can have a reports. So this application means we discussed pages, reports, and database. Those all you'll have a for multiple applications within this environment that we are calling as instance. So in every implementation, Oracle is providing two instances. For what purpose? As a part of implementation, if you take example of accounts payable application, okay, if you take example of accounts payables application, if you are going to implement accounts payable application to your client, by using one instance, what we have to do is we have to keep that ready. That instance we have to keep ready with AP related setups. What does it mean by setups? We'll understand very soon. And we have to create an AP. The invoice creation is working or not, payment creation is working or not, supplier creation is not working or not, reports you are able to generate. This is all we have to test. As a consultant, we have to verify this all features are working or not in each and every application. If everything is working fine, we have to show those to the client whom we are implementing this vision applications. We have to show them and we have to explain. In accounts payable application, this is how you can create the invoice. This is how you can process the payment. Are you okay with this, or you want to understand something? Do you want to change something, or anything else you want to capture the data when you are creating invoice and payments, or when you create suppliers, etc. This all will sit and discuss with those clients, okay, with the company. For that purpose, we use this instance. That is the reason this instance we call as test instance. Okay, the instance we call as test instance. We use for testing purpose only. We verify the payables. Okay, in payables, say as per payables, whatever Oracle is providing, within that, say for example, 50 futures Oracle is provided. Okay, and say in receivables 40 futures. Just for our discussion, I am taking these numbers. Okay, so as per fixed assets, 30 futures are available as a standard product. But when we are going to implement accounts payables for our client, they may require maybe 20. Here maybe they require only 15. Here they may require only 10. Now accounts payable application, Oracle is providing 50 features, but your client require only 20 from that. Okay, here 40 are available. Your client may require 15. Here 30 are available, but your client require 10. Now what we have to do is, in accounts payables, this 20 we will test those are working in this instance or not. In the same way in receivables, the 15, whatever our client required, we have to test. The fixed assets will test those 10. That's how all we have to test in this instance. That is the reason that we call as test instance. After testing, we will give the presentation to the client, we'll show to the client. So this is how you can utilize the features from each and every application. We have to show them. Okay. For now, this information is enough to understand that point as a test instance. So that is the meaning of test instance. The test instance, when we start with the implementation, we start using the test instance only. The implementation we do within this instance only. Exactly what does it mean by doing the implementation, we'll come to know very soon. Okay. Here we can discuss, but it will create some confusion. If you see few examples, if you refer the term called as implementation, that is easy for us. Okay, by using the test, when you start working for any client, we start with the test instance only. We do everything in the test instance. If client says okay, Then we'll move to this instance, the final instance, so that we call as production instance. Okay, we call it as production instance. So if everything is fine here, we test and we show to the client. So client is happy with everything what we are doing for them. They given the approval as they are okay to go ahead with whatever we presented. Then we keep this instance ready so that the clients will start using this instance to record their day-to-day real business transactions. Here you may create one invoice, we may create one payment in the test instance to verify. This system is allowing us to create invoice, it is allowing us to process the payment. Are we able to create the supplier or not? Are we able to create the bank account? Are we able to create customer? Are we able to do the billing and receipt creation, asset creation? Okay, this is all we test here. If everything is working fine, the same we replicate here. Means we keep this environment ready. Once you set up this environment is ready, the real business transactions, the real business data, the client will start entering. Okay. So when they get invoice from their supplier, they will record that invoice in this instance. If they want to make the payment, from here they'll make the payment. The real business transactions, client will start recording, okay, in the production instance only. The test instance you can use for any testing purposes. Production instance always will be used by client only, the client business, okay, who are working for the different departments. Those people will work on the production instance. As a consultant, we don't test this. Okay, we should not touch this for any testing data and all to verify anything. So when we are providing the support and all, we can look into that production instance to help them to fix any issues they are facing. Otherwise, production instance always used by client. Before you set up the production instance for the client, we have to set up test instance and we have to test everything. If everything is fine, and we will set up production instance, then client will start using this production instance. And another point is, say your client is PaaS client. Now they have to do the customizations. They have to do the customizations. In that scenarios, since Oracle is providing the 2 instances only, the test instance itself you can use for customizations also. When you use the test instance for customizations, that instance you can call as development instance. Okay, the instance which you are using to create some customizations that you call as development instance. Okay, in short, you can call as dev instance. Instead of calling it as a development, simply this you can call as dev instance. Dev means development. Dev instance. What purpose we are using this instance? For development. What you are developing, some new pages or new interfaces. Okay, integrations. Interfaces means connecting one application with another application. We call as integration. The integration process only we create the connectivity name is interface. Okay. So for all those purposes, you may use the same test instance that then based on that purpose, what purpose we are using, that you can call as development instance. Okay. So for a testing purpose and development purpose, you can use the same instance. Otherwise, you can pay and get one more instance. By default, you get 2 instances. Every client will get 2 instances when you do the implementation. Say they want to do many customizations. They don't want to do the customizations in the test instance. In those scenarios, they can get one more instance for a development purpose that we call as dev instance or development instance. So only that instance they may use for customizations purpose. They'll do the customization, they'll test whether those customizations are working or not. If those customizations are working fine, those customizations they'll move to production instance. Ultimately, they need in the production only. The production is the one which can be used by company. Test instance they never use. That is for verification purpose and to checking purpose. Ideally, as a consultant, we can use it. Okay. So production for client, test instance during the implementation. After implementation also, when client will start using this Fusion applications, if they are facing some issues or if anything need to be verified, this is all we do in the test instance only. So this is what we have to understand. This we can call as a landscape of instances, means how many instances we use, what purpose we use. So that is the point we have to understand. So test instance, production instance. By default, these are the two instances we use. And test instance we can use for development purpose also. Then you call as a dev instance. If you want to have a separate instance for development, yes, you can get from Oracle. For that, you have to pay extra. Okay, Oracle provides by default 2 instances only. If you need more than 2, you have to pay for that. So this is all about instances. Any questions on this, please? And we have one more point, we'll discuss that, but whatever we discuss based on that, any questions, please? Any questions here, please?
Lakshman,
Yeah.
any user limitations while
User limitations.
working on test instance?
Yeah, user limitations, always you have to take the subscription for the product with user headcount only. Since these instances are managed by Oracle, they do audit. You should not say you took for financials or else AP for accounts payable application. Okay, for accounts payable application, you take in a subscription for only 20 users. Okay, so only you have to create 20 users and 20 users can work on accounts payable application. If you want to create more than 20, system will allow the accounts payable in the instance you can create. But when Oracle will conduct the audit, if they find just you took the subscription for 20 users and you are using, like you have a 30 users who are working for payables application, then there will be penalty from Oracle. So that's how you have to take that point with respect to limitations. In terms of creation in the system, there is no limitation, but you have to create as per the subscription headcount. Okay. Right. This is what you have to notice. Any other questions here, please? Right. One more point. So Oracle is providing instance for education purpose, training purpose. Okay, education purpose or say training purpose. That instance we call as Vision instance. Okay, what are the instance Oracle is providing for learning purpose or training purpose or education purpose, whatever you call, that instance we call as a Vision instance. Okay, Vision instance, or you can call as a test instance also. That instance you can use for testing purpose. Anything you can test, you can go and test. Why we are calling as a Vision instance? So in the Vision instance, you can find the sample data. If you take test instance or a production instance, see, Oracle is providing 2 instances. One you can use for testing, another one you can use for production. If you look at test or production, when you get from Oracle, these instances are fresh instances, empty instances. There won't be any data. If you go to payables, accounts payable application AP, you don't find any suppliers, you don't find any bank accounts, you don't find any invoice or payments data. You don't find anything in the test or production instances when you get from Oracle. But when you get Vision instance from Oracle, okay, you'll have a sample data. If you go to payables, accounts payables, you'll have a many suppliers, many bank accounts, and many invoices data, many payments data. In the same way, if you go to accounts receivable applications, you can find many customers data and billing. Okay, transactions data, receipts data. And if you go to FA, fixed assets, you can find assets. You can find the data in the Vision instance. Okay, Vision instance, you can find the sample data. Why are you naming this instance as Vision? When they are creating the sample data, they use company name as Vision. See, you may do the implementation for company called as ABC or XYZ. Okay, you may use this implementation for so and so client. So you may do the implementation for Airtel or Emerson or some Cisco. For these companies, you may do the implementation. The same way, what are the sample data Oracle is providing in this Vision instance? They used company name as a Vision. That is the reason, since Vision company related sample data is available in this instance, we are calling it as a Vision instance. So this is the point we have to notice. Remember, when we are working for a client, we get two instances as a fresh instances. Fresh instance means without sample data. Remember, without sample data, you have to create everything from the scratch. So when we talk about Vision instance, you will have a sample data, but from here also you can create everything from the scratch. The advantage is you will have a sample data. If you want to refer something, you can refer. You want to create something, you don't know, there will be already records which are already created. You can go and verify how somebody is created, how Oracle is created. You can check, you can follow the same. That's how you can create what you are planning to create. So that we call as a Vision instance. Okay, Vision instance we are calling. That is the difference between these two instances and Vision instance. You will have a sample data. Oracle is not providing this Vision instances for any clients. They are providing this Vision instances for companies mostly. Say you are working for IBM. IBM is Oracle implementation partner. Say you are working for IBM. IBM is Oracle partner to do the implementation. So IBM will have a team for implementation. So Oracle will provide this Vision instance for IBM. The people who are working for IBM, they can use this Vision instance for their learning purpose, okay, or for just for any purpose, some practice or testing purpose and all. When those consultants are going to work for IBM client, then the consultant will get access to these instances. They have to work for their client. Okay, since IBM and you can say Infosys, or you can take HCL, many companies are acting as a Oracle consulting partners, implementation partners for Fusion applications. So for all those companies, Oracle is providing the Vision instance with the sample data. They can use that instance internally, and they can use it for learning purpose, any reference purpose. That is the purpose Oracle is providing. Okay, so this is the point we have to understand when you talk about instances. Any questions on these instances, please? Other points also we discussed. Okay, so when we are doing the implementation for any company, these two are default instances which Oracle is providing. By default, every client will get access to these two instances. Apart from these two, if they want to get access to additional instance, yes, they can get. Ideally, they can get additional instance for maybe for development purpose. If they are past customers or past clients, then only they can do the customizations. They can have additional instance for that. They'll charge extra. So this Vision instance, mostly Oracle is providing for their implementation partners only, not to their clients. Clients only these two instances. So any questions on these, please? Fine, no questions. So now just we'll have a look how to create the user in any instance. Okay, we'll just go through how instance looks like and how we can create the user. When you get access to these instances, ideally first we'll start working on this test instance. When we get access to test instance, if you are a part of implementation team, you'll get login credentials. Okay, you may get from your client, or you may get the login credentials from your project manager, or from maybe from other team members from the project. They'll provide you the instance URL, instance link, and they'll provide the login credentials. You can connect to that instance and you can create your own user. Okay, you can create your own user. By using that user, you can start working on that instance to do the implementation. What exactly doing the implementation will come to know, but we'll try to understand the user creation. Okay, we'll try to understand the user creation. So if you are going to work as a consultant, we require one user, which user will give full privileges to work on the instance. Okay, we need user with the full privileges. Now we'll discuss few points. When you create user, what exactly you have to associate to that user, we'll discuss those points. Say, create user. Since we are creating user to do the implementation, that user you can call as implementation user. Okay, that user we call as implementation user. So you want to create implementation user as ERPTREE. Okay, you want to create implementation user called as ERPTREE. When you create implementation user, you have to give the enough privileges to that user so that the user can involve in the implementation activities. For every user who is going to work as a implementation user or implementation consultant, you can say implementation user is nothing but implementation consultant who is working as a consultant for implementation. So for that user, irrespective of which applications the user is going to implement, we have to assign few roles. Okay, what we have to assign? We have to assign the roles. With the roles concept, we can give the permissions to the user to have access to the instance or privileges. So when you create implementation user, you have to assign two roles to that user. Those roles are application implementation consultant, other is IT security manager. Okay, we have to assign these two roles, application implementation consultant and IT security manager. With the help of application implementation consultant role, the user can implement any application. So if they want to implement AP application, yes, possible. AR application, possible. FS, EF, any application. That means with the help of application implementation consultant role, you can do the setups or call it as configuration, or you call it as altogether implementation. Okay, you'll get more clarity very soon, but for now take this point. Okay, if you assign if you give the access to application implementation consultant role to any user, that user will be able to do the setups, any application setups. After doing the setups only, we can use that application. Instead of calling as setup, call as configuration, or in the very high level, you can call it as implementation. Okay. So what is the use of IT security manager? With this IT security manager, only you can create the user creation, and you can deal with the roles. What exactly you can deal with the IT security manager, we'll see. Once we start working on, you can see that. Okay. So these are the two important roles which are required for every user, from which user you are going to do the implementation. Okay, we have to create the implementation user. To that implementation user, we have to assign these two roles so that you'll be able to do the setup with the help of application implementation consultant. With the help of IT security manager role, you can create the new users and you can assign the roles and you can create the new roles. These are the different concepts. Okay, so those are all we can do. Okay, we'll work on those. When we work on those topics, you will understand more detail level. Now, simple point you can take. So to do the implementation, we require at least one user. That user need access to two roles. Those are application implementation consultant and IT security manager role. Say you have an employee who is working for payables department. If employee is working for payables department, the employee need access to accounts payable application. For that employee, we have to create one user. To that user, we have to assign accounts payable related roles so that they can work on invoice process and payment process. The other employee is working for accounts receivable. Yeah. So for that employee, we have to assign accounts receivable related roles. Means we have a roles for each and every application separately. Who are working for which application, accordingly you can assign. Now we are talking about not employee, we are talking about consultants. At the time of implementation, we are going to act as a consultants. What access we need, we are discussing. If you have access to this, we can give the access to employees who are working in the organization, which employee is working for which department, accordingly for which application they need access, which privileges they need, whether they need access to only invoice creation or along with invoice creation, payment creation also, or else only payment creation access they require, or only they need access to supplier creation. These and all we can set up. We'll have a full privileges in the instance environment since we are going to have access to these two roles, application implementation consultant and IT security manager roles. We'll be able to create those. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. Now we'll go to the instance. Okay, we'll go to the instance and we'll create the user. And to connect to the instance, I'll use one existing user and we'll log into the instance and we'll see how to create the user and how to assign these roles. Okay, so we'll go through the user creation. So now we'll go and use the cloud instance. Okay, cloud instance. So here is the cloud instance. You can just, I'll share the instance URL and just you can click on that URL. No installation is required, no plugins, no add-ons you have to install, nothing is required. Simply you can hit on that link. You can see this login page and you can log in and you can start working on that instance. You can connect to this instance from any device which is connected to internet. Even from your smartphone also you can connect to this instance. Okay. Now I'm going to log into this instance with one of the existing user. When it comes to you, we will share one user and with that user you can log in and you can follow the process which we are going to see now. Okay. I'm going to use one user called as Vision user. This already I created. I'm going to use this. Okay. Say sign in. Okay, this is the cloud instance, that too SaaS. This is the home page. We will discuss about all these points going forward. For now, our target is user creation. Let's focus on that. We want to create the implementation user. We'll focus on that. Slowly we'll understand whatever we are able to see here. Now, not required. To create the user, you have to click on this navigator icon. You can see some bars here. Okay, it is giving the pop-up as a navigator. Just click on this navigator icon. So it is displaying this user got access to what? So this user got access to all these different tasks. Whatever you see here, we call as a task, T-A-S-K, task. That means this user, okay, the username is Fusion user. This Fusion user will be able to perform all these activities, all these tasks. Okay. So this user got access to all this. Now, to create the user, okay, to create the new user within the navigator, you have to go to section called as a tools. Okay, you have to go to section called as tools. If this section is now it is expanded mode. If you see as it's collapsed, you have to double click on tools. It will open all these items. Okay, it will open all these tasks under tools. Okay, to create the user, you have to click on the navigator icon. It will open the navigator section. Within that, we have a different sections: sales, me, my client group, help desk, product management, tools, etc. We have to go to tools. If it is not expanded when you are practicing, you can double click on tools. It will be expanded. This is how you can see all the tasks. Under tools, you have to go to task called as security console. You have to go to task called as security console. Just click on security console. Okay, click on security console. Fine. If you get any message, you can ignore it. Now anyway, no message here. Now select users. Okay, select users option. Select users option. Then click on add user account. Okay. So the fresh instance, what we have to do is when we get some user credentials, with that you can log into that instance, create your own user. If you want to proceed with the same user what you get from Oracle, nothing wrong. Yes, you can do that. But ideally, we create our own users and we'll start working on instance as a consultant. So how to create user? Just you can click on add user account. You can see the user information, the last name, username. These are mandatory. You can provide the password and you can confirm the password. Other information like first name, email ID, not mandatory. Okay. And after providing these details, you can click on add role and you can assign these two roles to this user. Okay, this is the process we have to follow. Okay, once again, we'll go through this navigation. So this is the logo they uploaded. When we are working for a client, we can upload the client logo. Okay, client logo, it can be uploaded here. So navigation is click on the navigator. Under tools, we have a task called as security console. Click on security console and select users. Click on add user account. So we want to create the user called ERPTREE. So give the name as ERPTREE. Use tab. It will copy that last name as a username. With this name only you can log in. If you want to change the name, yes, you can change. I'm giving last name and username as same. Provide password. And you can see the password policy here. Okay, information. Password policy is simple. At least 8 characters with one number. That's how you can set the password for the user. So I'm going to set the password. Confirm the same. Okay. Now you can click on add roles and you can assign those roles. Okay, that we'll see later. First, we create the user. Just say save and close. Okay, just click on save and close to create the user. After creating, you can come back to the same page and you can assign the roles by clicking on add roles, or else now itself you can click on add roles and you can assign the roles, the two roles whatever we discussed. Okay, these two roles: application implementation consultant for the purpose of implementation, IT security manager to create the users and to assign the roles. That is the purpose. Right. What happened? I'm just canceling. Let's try again. I think we got some message. I just said okay. ERPTREE provide password. Say save and close. Okay. User created. Now we'll go and find that user. Okay, we are in users page only. You can find the user here. The username is ERPTREE. Click on search. Display name, that is nothing but first name what we given, and the username. We didn't provide any email ID and all. And the status of the user is active, and user is locked. No. Here we have actions. You can log this account. If you log this account, you cannot log into this instance with this user. User would be available in instance, but if user is locked, you cannot log into the instance with this user. And you can reset the password. Okay, you can change the password by just clicking on reset password. You can select manually change password, and you can provide new password. That's all. New password and confirm the same. This is how you can reset password for any user. And if you want to delete this user, it is possible. Reality, delete option should not be available for the users, but they're given. Okay, you can delete. Say with this user you created something in this instance, but still you can delete this user. This is all about the virtual delete, but in the database, what are the activities you did with that user, that would be remain in the database. From this page, their access will be removed. That's how you can delete. And you can compare one user with another user, and you can copy one existing user. This we'll discuss later. Now it's not required. So these are the points we have to understand. Now just we created a user, we have to assign the roles. To assign the roles, you can click on the display name or username. Okay, click on the username or display name. No roles are assigned, right? Just we created a user. No roles are assigned. Here empty role section. To assign the roles, click on edit. Just click on edit and click on add role. Click on add role. Here we have to assign the two roles. One is application implementation consultant. You can search for the role. You can see if I type application implementation, it is displaying many roles. Application implementation administrator. The role name is same, but you can see the code is different. It is starting with ASM, this is starting with ORA ASM, and the same application implementation administrator copy. Somebody copied the same role, and application implementation consultant, copy. Here, these two names are same, codes are different. ORA, this is starting with ASM. And again, somebody copied consultant role, and application implementation manager. Okay, same role, somebody copied. This is how you can see different roles which are starting the prefix as the application implementation. Which role we have to select? Consultant role. Okay, don't select administrator or manager roles. The consultant role will have a full privileges. Okay, consultant role will have a full privileges. Here we have a same with the same name, two copies. Okay, application implementation consultant. Okay, application implementation consultant and a consultant. Codes are different. It is starting with ORA. It is starting with ASM. So both will have equal privileges. Okay, anyone you can select. Okay, I'm selecting application implementation consultant, or else you can type here application implementation consultant. Okay, the below two are copied. These two are copied. Even we will see how to copy as a part of role customization. We'll discuss. So with the same name we have two. Anyone you can select. I'm selecting first one. What's the name? Application implementation consultant. Click on this role. This is selected. Now click on add role membership. Add role membership is nothing but assign this role to our user. Click on add role membership, that is assigned in the background, you can see. Okay, application implementation consultant role is assigned. Now we have to assign one more role. That is IT security manager role. Search for IT security manager role. Okay, IT security manager. Here also you have two copies, same name, IT security manager, IT security manager. Okay, in some instances they are giving two copies, in some instances they are giving single copy. So both will have the same privileges. You can select any one if you see two. If you find only one, the same you can assign. Okay, anyone you can select. Both will have a equal privileges. I'm selecting IT security manager role and click on that so that it will get selected. Then click on add role membership. This role will be assigned to our user. The background you can see IT security manager is assigned. Now you can click on that and say save and close. And click on that. So this is how we require the user with these two role privileges. Okay, now you have a user called as ERPTREE. To the same user we assign application implementation consultant and IT security manager roles, so that from this user you can do the implementation. You will get almost full privileges to work on this instance as a functional consultant. Okay, functional consultant. So this is the point you have to understand. Now I will log into this instance as a ERPTREE user. Okay, now you can sign out. To sign out, you can click on the username. Next to that username, you have a just username icon. You can click on that, or else you can click on username. Click on username. Click on sign out. Now we log into this instance with our own user. Okay, log into this instance with our own user. Yes, you confirm the logout. Confirm. So what is the username? ERPTREE. Provide password. Sign in. Okay. So this is how you can create your own user. This is how you can create your own user. Now to understand which release of instance we are using, you have to click on the username. Click on username. Okay. Click on username. Here click on about this application. Okay, click on about this application. So this is what we have to consider. By looking at this, you can understand which instance we are using, which release instance we are using. Let's make a note of this. Copy. From where we are copying this, you have to click on the username. Click on about this application. And here you have this, you can copy this. Okay. Here what is 11? 11 is Fusion version. Okay, that is a Fusion version. They are not changing the version. They are not changing the version. Version is 11 only. For Fusion version is 11. In version 11, they are changing the releases. Here we have a release 13. The latest release is 13. So before 13, we have like 11.7. Other extension also you can have, but that is not required to discuss. Okay. Prior to that, we have 11.8, 11.9, 11.10, 11, 12, 13. Now we are at 13 release. This 13 we call as a release. Okay, in the Fusion, the latest release is 13. Release 13. Okay, when we talk about Fusion, we generally don't talk about version. In case of Fusion, we'll talk about release only. Version is fixed. Within that fixed version, Oracle is keep updating the releases. Again, this release 13, they introduced into the market around 3 years back, 3 to 4 years back. I think around 3 years back. 3 years back only they released 13. From 3 years, what they are doing is they are updating, they are upgrading with the patches. Here you can see this instance, how much latest you can see here. 22. 22 means year 2022. 2022. And 01 means Jan. Okay, 01 means, no, sorry, it's not Jan, first quarter. Okay, that is the first quarter. First quarter. So, on this instance, in this year, in the first quarter, they applied the patch. Or else here also you can see the quarter. Okay. 22A means year 2022, A means first quarter. If you see 2022B, second quarter. C means third quarter. D means fourth quarter. Okay. 22A means first quarter, 22B means second quarter. So this represents year 2022. A means first quarter. We are in the first quarter. The first quarter related patch they applied. Patch means to update with the latest updates from Oracle related to this product. Those may be some features, there may be some announcements, small changes, introducing new features. Those are all latest. Okay. So you can see here the instance is, I mean, whether it's a very older release or latest release, you can see by finding these details. This is very, very latest. Okay, this is very, very latest instance. Even if you see here 20, here 21, nothing wrong. There is no big difference with respect to the features. If you see here 20 or 19, that means a little older. Here if you see 21 or 22, no issues. You will find everything, what are the features are available. But every quarter they are updating. With those updates, don't think they are adding too much. They might be fixing some bugs. Bugs means when we use the application, if something goes wrong because of the programming, what Oracle did, they fix it. They'll try to stabilize it. So that's how they are working on the instances. In every quarter, they apply some patches. Patches will fix some issues. Okay, they apply some patches. It may add some new functionality also if applicable. But almost for financial application, already almost the relevant functionalities are available. Even if they are coming up with the new patches, you don't find the big difference. So, but here you can notice we are using which release? Release 13. That is the latest. Again, these are the patch information when they apply the patches. And they applied the patches in this quarter. Here, one you can understand as the Jan. The Jan itself, they applied the patch. Okay, A represents first quarter, B represents second quarter. If you see B here, okay, B means fourth, fifth, sixth month. Here you can see that in which month they applied the patch. Okay, so this is how you can find the information. Okay, so if you want to understand, if you by looking at instance, if you want to understand which release the instances belongs to, this is what we have to say. If you find here 12, that means that is release 12. If you see 13, that is release 13, which is latest. Again, what is the last patch applied on that instance? If you want to check, you can see these details. In 2022, the Jan month, they applied the patch, which is falling under first quarter. So this is how you can verify this information. So this is all about user creation. Okay, this is all about user creation. So in the next session, we'll discuss few points which you have to understand before we start with the instance related setups and other points. You should understand certain points very thoroughly. Then we can proceed with the instance. Okay, since these are the first weekend sessions, just I'm limiting this time to just max 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, I can say we're done for today. From next weekend onwards, we'll spend more time. Then we can get into the instance and we discuss the relevant points and we can start working on the setups. So this is how we can spend good amount of time related to this. Yeah. So we're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back. If no questions, we can wind up. Okay. So see you the next weekend. So we're done for today. Thank you. Any questions, you can stay back. Any questions, please?
Lakshman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a, you said that user creation. So this user is purely for implementation, right? So same as for end user also there is a user creation.
Correct. First you have to implement. With this you have to implement. After implementing, that end users, business users or accountants need access to the same instance to work on specific application. As an implementation consultant, now you have to implement with this user. So you have to implement payables. After implementing payables, who are going to work on the payables, call them as end users or business users. You will create the users for them and they need access to what? Not to application implementation consultant, IT security manager roles. These roles are not required for them. They need access to payable related roles since they are going to work on the payables. So we'll create user and we'll assign the payables roles to those users so that they can work on the payables.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Is SaaS PaaS you gave in that Excel sheet? So, in SaaS, is customization possible? For example, workflow customization we do.
Yeah,
Most
it
of
is
the
possible in SaaS or PaaS. Yeah, in SaaS also you can do that. Okay, you need a BPEL expert in that case. If you want to do the SaaS, okay, BPEL. By using the BPEL, they can do the workflow customizations in Fusion.
Okay.
Are you from EBS background?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in EBS, we have AME, right? Approval Management Engine.
Yes, yes.
To do the workflow customization, we need workflow developer, right? Here, in the place of AME, we have BPM, Business Process Management, BPM.
Okay.
If you want within the BPM, you can have a workflows. To customize that, you should know BPL language, Business Process Execution Language. That is purely technical. Yeah. Possible.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions from anyone, please?
Lakshman, how the first time Oracle provide the
No, your voice is very low. I'm sorry.
Hello, can you hear me properly? No.
Now better.
Okay. How the Oracle provide user first time. Suppose we have a when we install in EBS, we get the user like sysadmin.
Yeah.
So how it will be the first time? How it will be the user Oracle will provide the user.
There is
it will
no
have the complete privileges or
yeah, full privileges only. The user what you get, that user will have access to these roles. That's how they'll be.
Okay, they will provide one user with the full privilege, correct?
Correct. With application implementation consultant, IT security manager, these two roles you can see.
After that, we will create one more user with the application implementation consultant and IT security manager, correct?
Yes.
One more user.
One more, that's what.
Okay.
They provide one user with these privileges, okay, with this roles access. From that user, you can create a number of users. Say you have implemented team as the 5 members. So for each team member, you may create separate user. Or else with the same user also you can work. Ideally, we create separate users.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean to
call the user. Okay.
These two roles are mandatory: application implementation consultant and IT security for anyone to start doing.
If you want to implement, if you want to work as a consultant, these two are mandatory. Yes. Any other questions?
Lakshman, when any user logged in, that shows their company name or just a user? How it shows like?
Username only. Because see, the user
User.
we are going to work there belongs to same company, same organization. Okay.
Okay.
Here again, one more point. Now we created implementation user. And there is another use type called as employee user. Okay. When we create employee user, there will provide the complete information. Now, by seeing this user, you cannot understand, right? This user is working for, say, there is an organization, they have a different businesses. Okay, this user is working for what business and all, there is no clue here. When you create the employee users, there we can provide the complete information. The user is working for which department and which branch. Okay, the complete information we can provide as a part of employee user creation. Now, what we are creating this for implementation purpose. That is the reason you don't have enough information here. This is for just implementation. When it comes to business users, means employee users, there you can provide the complete details. That you cannot create now. After completing minimum setups, you will be able to create it. We'll see that also. Yeah. Any other questions? Fine. Okay. Since no questions, then that's all for today. We'll connect in the next weekend, same time. Thank you all. Have a good day and good night.